I'm standing in front of my staff. I'm trying to lead a staff meeting on curriculum change, and I've noticed a lot of yawning going on. I look at my watch. It's 3:30 p.m. and the meeting is scheduled to end at 5 p.m. I've told them all good-humouredly that we might be out of here by 4:30 p.m. if everyone's on their best behaviour. So we have at least another hour to go, and I'm already boring the pants off everyone. I need them to be on the top of their game because these curriculum changes need to happen, and I'm very keen for them to all own the changes. On reflection, I probably should have stopped right there. By the time we'd made it through to 4:30 p.m, we've all endured a process akin to pulling teeth. In the end, it was very evident that the meeting was well and truly split. There were people who were just dying to leave. They obviously didn't care about ownership in the decision making. They had their other lives to go to. Initially, they sat quietly, but as time went on, they shuffled and fidgeted in their seats. Then there was a group who were pedantically working through every single word in the new document. They did so in an almost obsessed manner, and they were getting frustrated with those wanting to leave. And those wanting to leave were getting very frustrated with them. Then there was the group who had stuck with my game plan up until a point. They wanted their input, but they wanted to move along quickly. They were getting frustrated with the other two groups. And then there was me, trying to tie all the people together. A little piece of me stuck and torn in each of the groups. There was plenty about this meeting that wasn't right. In the end, I was managing the meeting and not leading it. And in the end, I too was just dying to leave. No doubt you've been in a similar situation. Maybe you've led the meeting. Maybe you've sat in the meeting. I've certainly had my fair share of successful meetings. They weren't all like this. My best meetings were those that found me in a highly adaptable mood. Often this was coupled with a sense of humour and creativity. Knowing your team means being able to be prepared for situations just like this and finding a way that'll get the best out of everyone. In this particular situation, maybe I would have been better to do the following prior to the meeting. Acknowledge that a full meeting at 3 p.m. on curriculum change after a full day of teaching wasn't a great idea from an energy point of view. Shorten the meeting into bite-sized parcels. Delegate some of the heavy lifting decision making to those who are better suited at going through the finer details, meeting beforehand. Organise some food, mixing the meeting up with some fun activities and some tougher stuff. Being clear about the purpose and intent of the meeting. Being a great leader isn't just about having the ability to run a good meeting though. That's just a tiny bit about being a leader. Instead, being a leader is more about understanding the need for adaptability. While you may have unique strengths and capabilities, getting the best out of your team requires knowing their personalities and remaining flexible. Hi everyone, it's my pleasure to bring you this leadership module. Today we're talking about adaptive leadership and how it's important as a leader that you are flexible, nimble, and altogether adaptive in the manner in which you lead. Okay, so let's start with an understanding of the adaptive leadership mindset. Hollywood and the movies will often portray leaders as though they're single-handedly in control and manage anything and everything. It's their way or the highway. Yep, arguably there'll be times when this is the case, but for the majority of the time in your leadership, you're much better off by working alongside your people and by being adaptive to the conditions that you find yourself in. Being flexible and nimble enough in your leadership approach means having a pretty solid understanding of what makes your team tick. Who are the members who can take the initiative? Who are the members who can run with new ideas? Who are the ones who need a little bit more support? Who are the ones that need a caring hand? What motivates everyone on your team? And what about all the important team dynamics that play through everything that occurs in your workplace? How do the personalities in your team get along? Which strengths can be relied upon, and who influences the team behind the scenes when you're not looking? Your team's made up of unique personalities, and these personalities wax and wane in terms of energies and passion as they also go through their own personal challenges. Do you know how to utilize and adapt to these changes as they occur? Adaptive leaders know that no two team members work the same way, and adaptability is their superpower. An effective leader observes, listens, and tailors their approach to suit individual strengths, communication styles, motivations, rather than forcing everyone into a rigid framework. This doesn't mean pandering, it's about creating an environment where everyone thrives and delivers their best, ultimately boosting team cohesion and results. Flexibility isn't a weakness, it's a strategic skill for getting the best out of diverse minds. Effective leaders understand that each team member is driven by unique goals, whether it's career growth, skill development, or personal fulfillment. A leader who takes the time to identify and align these individual aspirations with broader team objectives fosters a sense of purpose and commitment. This doesn't mean catering to every whim, it's about striking a balance between personal growth and collective success. Adaptability in this context isn't a luxury, it's a necessity for creating a motivated, high-performing team where everyone feels valued. Knowing your team gives you invaluable insight into the best time to switch gears. When's the best time to push on through? When's the best time to take a break? Who's best suited to particular tasks? Who's best suited to take the lead if you need to be elsewhere? Being adaptive in your leadership style means looking for those times when you can empower your team. Empowering your team is a strategic move that fuels both their growth and your own leadership success. When you trust your team with autonomy, decision-making, and opportunities to innovate, they gain confidence, skill, and motivation to excel. In turn, their growth enhances the overall team's performance, allowing you to focus on high-level leadership instead of micromanaging stuff. It's a cycle. When you lift others up, their achievements reflect back on you, making your role more effective and rewarding. Empowered teams make empowered leaders. This also means that you'll have to adapt your style in terms of how you communicate with your team. Everyone on your team brings unique strengths and skills. How you get those unique strengths and skills out of them means potentially having a unique approach to each individual. The good news is that just as you want the best out of them, they want the best out of you. There are 4 main leadership styles that you can utilize. Adaptive leadership isn't about sticking to one style though, it's more about knowing when to switch between delegating, supporting, coaching, and directing. Each style serves a different purpose, and the key is adapting to the situation and the needs of your team. Delegating fosters independence. Supporting builds trust and morale. Coaching develops skills and potential, while directing provides clarity and structure. When leaders seamlessly shift between these styles, they create this dynamic, balanced environment where teams thrive and goals are achieved efficiently. Flexibility isn't just smart, it's essential for effective leadership. Adaptive leadership thrives on balancing tasks and relationships within teams. Focusing solely on tasks can drive efficiency, but it risks alienating team members, while prioritizing relationships without addressing those goals can slow down or hinder what you're trying to achieve. The key is striking a balance, delivering clear expectations and accountability, while building trust, respect, and connection amongst the teams. When leaders manage both aspects well, they create this cohesive environment where people feel valued and motivated to work together. This harmony is what turns a group of individuals into a high-performing team, and it's also what keeps them turning up each day. How you model this adaptive leadership mindset is crucial. Your team might say that they're interested in what you do, but research says clearly that they're actually more interested in how you make them feel. This means having a pretty astute, positive, and active emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is really the cornerstone of your adaptive leadership style. It enables you to navigate the complexities of human behavior with like a real finesse. Adaptive leaders understand and manage their own emotions as well as recognizing and responding to the emotions of others. It helps hugely so that leaders can build trust, diffuse tensions, and foster collaboration. Emotional intelligence helps leaders read the room, adapt their communication and leadership style, and connect with team members on a meaningful level. This isn't just about being empathetic, it's about creating an environment where people feel understood and motivated and empowered to perform at their best. The most obvious way is by encouraging feedback. Open, transparent, two-way feedback. And remember the old adage, you were given 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Okay, so we're almost there. Let's take a quick look at the key takeaways. Adaptive leadership means being flexible, finding the right balance, and growing together. It's true that they say leadership can be a lonely place, but by being adaptive in your approach and modeling this in everything that you do, you show yourself that you are indeed human. And when you understand that, well, it's difficult ever to feel truly lonely. And one last quote. This one always sticks with me. It resonates like a bell. Maybe it will do for you as well.